I've done a ranking on my channel of every single Sarah J. Maas book and my personal favorites, but this video I wanted to talk about particularly the endings, because I think this is where Sarah J. Maas really like cooks. Like, this is the magic sauce of Sarah J. Maas, is how she ties everything together in an ending. I think she has unmatched endings, and I wanted to rank my personal favorite endings, because I think my favorite endings aren't necessarily my favorite books. I know that for a fact because you'll see. First of all, this is going to be full spoilers, like absolutely full spoilers. I'm going to be talking about literally everything in the ending of these books. So if you have not read every single Sarah J. Maas book to its completion, this isn't the video for you. Like, you got to go. Come back when you're done, girly. I won't be talking about A Court of Frost and Starlight or the Catwoman book, even though they're both on this tier ranking chart that I found on tiermaker.com, because I haven't read either of those. A Court of Frost and Starlight, my reading for the recap will be the first time. I know I should have read it before I read A Court of Silver Flames, but like I didn't. And now we're here. And I have no plans to read the Catwoman book. Should I? Maybe I should for like a video. Anyway, let's go ahead and chat the endings. We will go ahead and I'm going to pull these guys just down to meh, just to get them out of my way. Okay, great. I'm going to go in order. These are in the most random order ever, but I'm going to go in order of the books. So I'm going to start with Throne of Glass, the original book. So the ending of this book is the one where Selena finally has like the final trial in the King's Champion little battle, and she has to fight Kane, and Kaltain poisons her via Duke Parrington, who we later find out is Erewhon. We don't know at this point that Duke Parrington is Erewhon. Kaltain comes, poisons Selena, and then she is fighting Kane and kind of like loopy. She's like half in the demon world, half in the real world. Kane has like been like hyped up on some demon magic, and Queen Elena, everyone's least favorite character in the Throne of Glass series, comes and rescues her, does something helpful for maybe the only time in this book. Overall, though, I would say Throne of Glass, I would say it's an okay ending for Sarah J. Maas. Like, for any other book, I'd be like, wow, what an ending. But for Sarah J. Maas, it's okay. Then we get Crown of Midnight. Crown of Midnight, we similarly have like a demon world little situation in which, at this point, Nehemia has died like halfway through, and Selena says, I'm going to bring Nehemia back from the dead. I just need to talk to her. I need to ask her some questions about the word marks and everything. So she's like, I'm just going to call her up. She calls her up. It's kind of a bad idea to open a portal to the demon world. Archer gets a hold of the book. Archer opens like a bigger portal to the demon world. Selena and Fleetfoot get like sucked into the demon world. Dorian and Kale come down. Dorian rescues Selena. Kale rescues Fleetfoot. Don't you forget it. Kale rescues Fleetfoot on multiple occasions, and I think people forget about that. He's been really helpful. And they rescue Selena from the demon world. During this process, they do see that Selena is half fae, because in the demon world, she's in her fae form, which freaks Kale out a little bit. Him and Selena were having a romance at the beginning of the book, although at this point, it's not going well. She does blame him for the murder of her best friend, so they're not on the best of terms. They get it back up. Selena says, actually, I feel fine. Let me go. And she runs back down into the caves, murders Archer Finn. Kale sees her murder Archer Finn, and he's like, this is the first time he's witnessed her murder, and it is upsetting to him. A lot happens. This is another one where I'm going to say it's okay. I think I like this one even less than Throne of Glass. There is a moment. Oh, I forgot this. This moment is really good. So like the actual action part is like not particularly like excitingly memorable to me, but at the very end of the book, Kale has like arranged it so Selena will go to Gwendolyn because he's trying to keep her safe. He's like, oh my gosh, I just found out my girlfriend is half fae. The king does not like the fae around here. So if I send her away closer to the fae lands, maybe she can get away, she can get safe. He's trying to be helpful. It's very unhelpful. Selena's like, okay, great. Now I have to go to the fae lands. Before she leaves, she whispers a date in Kale's ear and is like, look into this, okay? Love ya, bye. And Kale is researching in the library. He's like trying to figure out what this date could mean. And he figures it out. Selena Sarthothian wasn't in league with Aelin Galathinius. Selena Sarthothian was Aelin Galathinius. And that moment is really good. Okay, that moment is like jaw drop on the floor. Kale is like in the library and he's like, oh my god, she is the lost queen of Terrasen. She is the biggest threat to Dorian, and I just sent her into the heart of her, like, allies' lands. And she's gonna come back and murder my bestie bro. And Kale is, like, shook, and we're shook. And that ending is really good. I did forget about that. Ooh, that part might actually bump it over. You know what? We're going to move it in front of Throne of Glass just for that. Ugh, I can't believe I forgot that. Okay. Then we get Heir of Fire. Heir of Fire has like kind of a lot of endings. I was like quickly refreshing my brain on all of the endings before I started filming. And I realized like Heir of Fire really kind of has like 3 distinct endings. We get an ending for Celaena, first of all. Celaena's kind of ending is like 2 parts. She goes to Maeve. Rowan's bond to Maeve broken in order for Rowan to be able, then Rowan takes the blood oath to her. Okay. And she's kind of like stepped into her own. We also get the iconic line in which Celaena says, okay, I'll burn down your city. And Maeve is like, my city is made of stone. And Aelin says, your people aren't. Slay on. And like, we start to see the beginnings of like Fireheart and Heir of Fire. I think Heir of Fire is so good. We got like a battle scene earlier. Like the Heir of Fire is just like brilliant. But like the very ending part of Celaena's journey, I feel like is kind of the weakest. We also see her get on a boat to fly, or to not fly. Boats normally don't fly. To sail back to Ardennes. Meanwhile, we get the end of Manon, and Manon in Heir of Fire is the most annoyance. It's like the biggest annoyance. The first time you read Heir of Fire, it is a, what is it called? It's like a canon experience where you have to be like, why is this witch here and why do I care? And then by the end of the book, you are weeping over Manon Blackbeak. You're like, my beloved, my beloved. Anyway, at the end of this book, we get to see Manon kind of these like first flickers of humanity, because she does like the war games situation. She is crowned the wing leader, which is like the thing she's been working for this whole book. But in order to like accept this title formally, she has to kill a Crescent witch, which is like no big deal. Manon has killed hundreds of Crescent witches in her lifetime. She's like known by the Crescent witches as this white demon, but she has this moment where she's killing the Crescent witch, in which the Crescent witch looks up at her and says, like, the thing is that they have made you monsters. Like, you were not born this way. Like, they have made you this way. And Manon goes, okay. And she kills this witch. And then she goes out to mountain and she's sitting with Abraxas. And she is just thinking about the fact that, like, Abraxas is made from these, like, evil Valg stones. Like, the wyverns are created from this evil thing, but they're like lovely. We love them. They're so lovely. And Manon is like, oh my gosh, maybe I was made a monster. She like starts to really question what she's been taught and like what it means to be like powerful in this moment. And it's like a good moment. It's not like excellent. You know, you're not bought into Manon yet. Next book you will be. But this book, you're like, okay, great. Then we get some of my favorite Dorian Kale moments. Back at the castle, Dorian's decided to flee with his girlfriend. He's like, I'm gonna get out of here with my girlfriend Sorsha. Rest in peace, Sorsha. The king, upon hearing this, beheads Sorsha. Bad news. Kale is like, I'm gonna cut your head off, king. And the king is like, Kale, you're the only one in this whole book that's a human. There's no way you're gonna be able to do that. And he like shoots an arrow or he has one of the guards shoot an arrow at Kale, and Dorian stops it with his magic. And the king is like very anti-magic, so Dorian has revealed himself to be magic by doing this. And he tells Kale to run. And Kale has like this whole speech about how like there's only one true king and Kale serves him and it's Dorian. And then he tells Dorian that he loves him and he leaves to like carry on. He like knows that he assumes at this point that Dorian will not be killed because Dorian is like the heir to the throne, and like there's some other reasons where he's pretty sure that Dorian won't be killed, but like will be in a tricky spot, and he needs to make sure that he gets out of there and talks to Aelin to like kind of let her know what's happening and to help her get Dorian out. Okay, he's not just leaving for no reason, guys. People put that on Kale. He had thoughts in his little nog. He runs away. Gorgeous. I'm going to put this ending in. This is a hard one for me because I think parts of it are elite, but overall it's just like a lot happens. There's not like a concise, like super chewy, delicious moment. So I'm going to put it in good. That's what I'm going to put it. Good. All right. Where are we next? Of course. Queen of Shadows. Queen of Shadows, we get kind of everything converging together in the ending. There is like the witches have like a slightly side plot happening. We'll talk about them a little bit, but like the main plot is Aelin is back in Ardennes. She's back in what's the city called? Rifthold. She's back in Rifthold. And they're gonna go. They found out from Manon that Witch Killer, the prince is still inside him. Okay, slay on. We're gonna go rescue Dorian. So her and Kayla headed into the palace to try to rescue Dorian. She's pretending to be Celaena Sarthothian again, returned to the king from his like her mission in Wendelin. She gets in there, like no one's buying anything. We wind up having this like big battle with like the king and with Dorian. We find out that the king has been possessed by a Valg demon this whole time. And then he looks at Dorian and he says, my boy. And then he turns to Selena, or he turns to Aelin, and he says, Aelin. He says, like, Aelin, have you come to kill me at last? It's so good. They do kill the king. The whole glass castle crumbles. Cale does break his back. Bad time for him. It's like gorgeous and perfect and fantastico. She takes over the city of Rifthold. Magic has been returned to the Empire. Meanwhile, at the Witch's Land, we've got to rescue Elide. Baby Elide has been, is going to be turned into a little womb for the Valg princes. Upsetting. And Manon and the 13 are like, we can't let baby Elide get turned into a womb. That would be terrible. So they wind up like switcherooing her with Kaltain, and Kaltain has been like over the past 2 books just like being tortured essentially by Duke Parrington, and being turned into like this vessel for the Wordstones. And she says, we're done with this, and she explodes Morinth, and the witches in Elide run. That moment is good. I'm gonna put this one in Elite. I feel like this one is more iconic. Like, it's iconic. We have 2 big moments, and they're like both really iconic moments. The explosion of the glass castle and the explosion of Morinth and the return of magic. And chef's kiss. We end this book. I feel like the emotional kind of like lead into the next book is like less good. Like, we're sending Cale to the southern continent. Aelin is like gonna go home to Terrasen, and you know, it makes sense. But like the iconic moments are so iconic. Next we get Empire of Storms. Oh my gosh. Ooh. The ending of Empire Storm will scoop your guts out. It will scoop your guts out. So the ending of Empire Storms ends with this like big sea battle. All the ships are fighting. We have Maeve ships and Aelin ships. And everyone has kind of like congregated, if I remember correctly. We've like finally all kind of gathered in this one spot where this battle is happening. Elide and Lorcan are here. And Aelin is here. Lysandra is here. Manon's here. Like, everybody's here. Everyone's here. This big battle's happening. The 13 wind up showing up to like help with the battle. Aelin winds up going to the shore because Maeve, I don't remember exactly what causes them to go to the shore. We end up having this like smaller kind of showdown happen on the shore between Maeve and Aelin. And essentially for Elide, in which Maeve is like, you have to come with me. And Aelin is like drained of her power. She can't fight off Elaine, and she can't fight off Maeve. She knows she needs to get Elide to safety, and she knows she needs to get Manon to safety because Manon has the Wordstone. She passes the Wordstone to Manon. They had just gathered one of the Wordstones. They have it now, and she needs to get them out of there. And so in order to do that, she sacrifices herself, and she is put in this iron coffin with like an iron mask on. And as someone who is like intensely magical, this is really bad news because the iron prevents her from using her magic. So she's just like trapped in there. The magic building up inside of her. It's devastating. It's horrifying. It makes me want to cry. And then after they leave, Lorcan's bond gets snapped. So does Gavriel's bond. He's like crawling towards Maeve. Don't worry, he was not crawling towards Maeve. He was actually crawling towards Aelin. He explains it later, but Elide is like, that's so embarrassing for you. I'm gonna go hang out with the witches. And Manon is like, yeah, don't hang out with that crawling man. Embarrassing. Everyone's on the shore. Rowan is like devastated. He's gone to the shore. His wife is gone. We find out that they're married. And Lorcan has to explain to Rowan where his wife is. Upsetting. And then the silent assassins show up, and then Ansel shows up, and all of these allies start arriving, and Adian eats his words. Remember earlier when Adian was like, where are our allies, Aelin? He eats his words now because their allies are all there. And Lysandra has turned into Aelin. Using her shape-shifting powers, she is going to pretend to be Aelin to lead this army while Aelin is busy being tortured. It's so good. Is it Elite or is it God tier? I think it's just Elite. I think we're going to save God tier. I think we're just going to leave it at Elite. Okay. Okay, now we go to Tower of Dawn. Tower of Dawn is Cale's little side quest, right? Cale's side quest. It ends with Cale kind of like confronting the Valg demon. Actually, I think Irene does it. Does Cale do anything in the finale? Not really. He can like sort of walk again. Okay. Irene uses her like powers and like the powers of her ancestors. She has like all of these women, all of the Towers women behind her, as she like exorcises the Valk demon from the princess, and like everything is saved, and they're like, okay, fine, we'll be your allies because you saved us from the Valk. We've also learned at this point like a lot of stuff about like Maeve. We've learned a lot of stuff about Maeve, and we're like ready to go back to get her. It ends with them being like, yes, we'll send the ships, and then we see Irene and Kale on the ships. The action part of this does nothing for me. I love Tower of Dawn, but the like action at the end, whatever. This is, I think, one of her worst endings action-wise. But this moment in which Kale realizes that the note that Irene has been carrying on her person since he's known her, for like years, since she's gotten to the southern continent, is from Aelin. It's my favorite. This would probably be a meh ending except for that. That is going to move it to the good tier. Sorry. This is my list, and that's where I'm putting it. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think it is so good. I'm obsessed with it. Speaking of that, why haven't I done Assassin's Blade? We'll do Assassin's Blade real quick before we do Kingdom of Ash. Assassin's Blade ends with Sam being killed. And then there's like the whole scheme with like this Aelin and Sam, or Selena and Sam, are going to flee. They're like, we're done with Arabin, and they've like paid their debts. They're going to leave the city, and they're like, we need a little bit more money. And Sam's like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take like one last job, and he's like, I'm just going to go take care of it real quick. You stay here and pack. And then he never returns. Arabin comes to Selena and is like, Sam is dead. And then she's taken back to the keep. She sees Sam's brutalized body, and then she's locked in her room, and Arabin talks about what happened, like right outside of her door. She escapes out the window, obviously. She runs to go kill the gang lord that killed Sam, and is caught by the king, put in the dungeons, and then sent to Endover. And we like find out that Arabin like orchestrated all of it, that Arabin does not like sharing his belongings, and he orchestrated the killing of Sam and then the imprisonment of Selena. It's elite. I think this is an elite ending. Like, I think it does what it needs to do, and like, I'm putting it up there. It's like devastating. Rips your heart out of your guts. Should I put it there? Better than the tower falling? Yeah, we're gonna put it in between those two. It rips your heart out of your guts, obviously. But like, but I think it's good. Like, I think it really gives you this, like, emotional core for Selena Startothian, and that will continue to follow her for the rest of the series. Like, you get why she's doing all of this. It's brilliant. Okay. And then, of course, we have Kingdom of Ash. Kingdom of Ash, I actually feel like, is kind of like it's a long, like, what I consider, like, the ending of Kingdom of Ash is, like, chunky. The ending of Kingdom of Ash probably goes from when, like, Aelin arrives, like, at the fight riding on the stag, a gorgeous image, through that battle with like Maeve and Erewhon, and then we have so much after the battle, and I understand it's the end of a long series, but we have like so much. We have like a coronation, and we have a parade, and then we have all these goodbyes, and then we have like, it like kind of drags for me. The ending does just a little bit, and I like get that like we have a lot of characters to kind of like send away on their separate missions. I get the ending that it serves, but because of that, I feel like it packs less of a punch. I think the action part in which we see Aelin fighting Maeve without her powers, and how like, like the moral of the story is that like it is like Aelin as an individual, like as a person, not her like powers that like can defeat the darkness. Love that. We love that Irene is like kind of the key. I'm obsessed with the fact that Irene is like the key to defeating Erewhon, and that it's like their mothers and like these sacrifices that these women have made for decades so that their daughters could have a better life than them, that leads to the like destruction of Erewhon and his people. Like, love all that. But at the same time, I just don't feel like the ending itself is like the most impactful part of this book. Like, when we talk about Kingdom of Ash, we almost never talk about that ending scene. We often talk about the scene where Dorian and Aelin go to like meet with the gods, like in the other realm, where they see the king, and they close the gates. That's what they're doing. when we like talk about that scene, we talk about the 13 a lot. We talk about the huge battle of Enel. Like there's a lot of really brilliant moments in Kingdom of Ash. And I actually feel like the ending is one of the weaker moments in the book. Like obviously still good, but like, and better than that. But I actually would feel like the ending of Kingdom of Ash is not the best. I'm editing right now and I realized for Kingdom of Ash, forgot to mention the most important part of the ending of the Kingdom of Ash, which is like in the little epilogue in which the King's Flame is blooming, because that is actually really important to me. That's actually extraordinarily important to me, and I can't believe I didn't mention it. It's not going to move it. I'm going to leave Kingdom of Ash where it is in the positioning of things. But I do feel like that's an iconic moment that I would be remiss not to mention. Oh my gosh, I like none of these went in God tier. Interesting. I wonder if any will. I actually do know one that will go in God tier. I'm pretty sure. Okay. Let's do ACOTAR next. We have Court and Thorns and Roses. I'm going to consider the ending the part where Feyre solves the riddle and then dies, then subsequently gets turned into a fae. And then they leave under the mountain and they all live happily ever after. We also have that moment. Don't you forget it. We have that moment in which Rhys is staring at her and then it goes and he just like vanishes. I would say this ending is like really good. Like I think this ending is like quite solid. I think it is a really good ending. Yeah. A Court of Mist and Fury. This book ends with the scene in which they try to go nullify the cauldron. They go to Hybern. They try to nullify the cauldron. Feyre and the gang, they try to go nullify the cauldron. They get there, Tamlin's there, and so are her sisters. And her sisters get turned into fae. And Feyre decides that the best way out of the situation is to be like, oh my gosh, Rhysand did trick me. I really just want to go back home to Tamlin, my blonde boyfriend who I love so much. And everyone's like, yeah, that checks out. Bye, Feyre, have fun. So sneaky, so fun, so delightful. I'm going to say this one is also... So ending elite. I'm going to put it in good. Top of good, though. They won't let me put it above Airfire. They say Airfire is actually better. And they're right. They're right. Airfire is better. Airfire is better than Court of Mist and Fury. Okay. Next we have A Court of Wings and Ruin. I love this ending. A Court of Rings and Ruin I feel like is spectacular. I'm going to consider the ending kind of the entire last battle. And so for me, the moment that makes this book is when their father shows up with the 3 ships that are named, oh my gosh, the Feyre, the Elaine, and the Nesta. Oh my gosh, I could cry talking about it. Oh, this is the only moment I cry in this video. Didn't cry about Sam's death, but the ships. Oh my gosh. And then to see their father beheaded by the king a minute later, and then Nesta's the one who like finally kills him, and Elaine like helps. Elaine like starts to kill him and then Nesta finishes killing him. Like that is chef's kiss perfection to me. Like I am obsessed with the ending of this. I think this is an elite ending for me. Or God tier. We're moving it to God tier. Wow, above Queen of Shadows? Maybe I need to move Queen of Shadows up. We're moving Queen of Shadows up. Okay, it needs to be in God tier. There needs to be something in God tier, and Queen of Shadows has got to go up there. Okay, but I do think A Court of Wings and Ruin for me is a little bit better. I know that people are like, sometimes get annoyed at the fact that like Rhysand dies and then is like immediately brought back. The fact that none of these characters die. I don't need them to die. Like, I don't need them to die. That's not something I need. Yeah. Just like thoroughly love the ending of this book. I feel like it ties the series up so perfectly. I think because it is really just like this trilogy, it's able to wrap things up so tightly and neatly in a way that I think because A Court of Thorns because Throne of Glass is like so long and rambling, the endings are not able to be as concise and like sharp and pointed because we have like a lot of threads to wrap in and they don't tie into quite as neat of a bow. Okay. And then, of course, A Court of Silver Flames. I love Nesta Rue. I would consider the ending of this, I don't know. I think we're going to count from the moment with, like, the arch in which, so we have Gwen, Emery, and Nesta in the, what's it called? The little thing they have to do at the end. The little competition they do to, like, prove that they're real real warriors that they get like sucked into. And we have this moment at the end in which they're gonna like reach this highest point and be sucked out, and Nesta has to stand guard at this arch and fight against these men that are like attacking her, and she knows she's not gonna make it, but she does it for like her friends, and it's like really beautiful and lovely. But then in the end, like Cassian comes and saves her, and then she's taken back to Prithian, in which she has to give up her magic to save her sister giving birth. Okay. I love this scene so much, but there's nothing I hate more than when the girlies in this book, the mean girlies with all the power, have to give it up. Oh my gosh. Nesta stole that magic fair and square from the cauldron, and she had to give it up so her sister wouldn't die. And like, I'm glad she did. Like, I didn't want Feyre to die. But also, like, such a bummer that she doesn't have magic anymore. Also, like, such a bummer that in that, like, giving up her magic, she also changed her own bits. So if she has babies with Cassian, it's fine. And, like, again, I think that's fine. I just, like, ugh, it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite. So I'm gonna have to put this ending in okay, just because of that. Like, I actually think the ending, I don't know where to put it, because, like, structurally and, like, actual impact on me as a reader, like, enjoy it. But, like, I don't love the giving of the powers thing. We're gonna put it in the middle. We're gonna put it in good. We're gonna put it, right here in good. Okay, now we have the Crescent City books. The books that, like, made me want to start this video, because we start with the first book, which I'm going to spoil my thoughts here. I think this is the best ending Sarah J. Maas has ever written. I think this book is not my favorite book. I think, I like this book. I really enjoyed this book. It's my favorite of the Crescent City books. But the ending of these books in this series in general are, like, pretty good. But particularly the first book. Oh my gosh. I'm going to count the ending kind of being from that, like, whole scene that happens once we have, I, like, really should have looked at names better. I haven't looked into the series in a while, and I've only read this series through once. I think I read this book twice, but where we have Bryce fighting, is it Isaiah? I don't think so. The Archangel that comes in, and she winds up fighting with this Archangel, and Lahaba, the fire sprite, winds up sacrificing herself to save Bryce. Oh my gosh. And there's that, like, spooky ooky thing in the water that, like, comes out, and I'm doing a bad job describing it, but and they're like, everyone else, like, including Hunt and, like, all of the, like, people in charge are, like, watching it on a live stream, and then she winds up, like, turning this man into ash and vacuuming up his corpse. So good. And then the demons come out, and she has to, like, go through the word gates to, like, are they word gates? What are they called here? They're word gates. I'm sure they are. But, like, I don't know what they're called in this world. I don't remember. I, like, really should have refreshed my Crescent City better. I, like, really quickly read a recap, but I'm doing a bad job. I think this is perfection. I think this is the best ending that Sarah J. Maas has ever written. I think it's God tier. I think it's the best. The second book, House of Sky and Breath. House of Sky and Breath. This ending is also quite good. So I'm going to count this ending from, we get the moment, really I should count it from, like, the palace, but I really want to include some, like, night and day stuff. The night and day stuff is my favorite part of this book. No wonder. We know Lydia has a ancestor with my favorite girl. She's a shared ancestor with my gal. I love the night and day stuff. I think that stuff is so good. But really what we're, like, the main crux of this ending is Bryce getting into, well, all of them kind of getting into the palace of the Asteri. They are trying to figure out what's happening, and Bryce tries to go to hell. Meanwhile, Hunt and Rune get taken to the dungeons. We have, like, a whole dungeon situation. Well, I guess most of the dungeon situation happens in the next book. They get captured, and Bryce winds up in ACOTAR. We ended the book with her meeting Rhys, and that was, like, such a mic drop moment. Like, jaw on the floor. Like, I don't think Sarah J. Maas has done, like, a cliffhanger like that, in the sense of, like, last sentence leaving you, like, I mean, she loves a cliffhanger. Like, Empire of Storms is a cliffhanger. Like, we get a lot of cliffhangers throughout the multiple series we've seen, but, like, oh my gosh, yeah, the cliffhanger at the end of that one. I think it's elite. For me, the lead up to that isn't like perfection, but the way we get this like mic drop moment in which we realize that she's standing in front of Rhysand. And she didn't end up in hell. She ended up in Prithian. I think it's really good. It's really, really good. Okay, and then the House of Flame and Shadow. The House of Flame and Shadow. I don't even remember the names of these books. Embarrassing. House of Flame and Shadow. How does this book even end? I feel like I did not like it. Oh my gosh, I don't remember how the House of Flame and Shadow ends. Bryce and Hunt have a battle against Regulus and the other Asteri with the Crystal Palace, blah, blah, blah. Bryce and Hunt. Oh yeah, they borrow Nesta's mask. That was so sweet of them. I don't remember it. I have no idea. I read this once and I don't think I liked it very much. I'm gonna put this in meh because I literally don't remember it. It should probably move. It'll probably move once I actually like remind myself of what happens. I feel like she also like gives away all of her power. I don't remember this. Fuck, we're gonna leave it where I put it at meh because I don't remember. The thing I remember the most is that Bryce like does not take on any responsibility or power. Which, sorry, that's rude. Like you gotta be in charge now. I don't. Wow, I didn't realize this would end on such a hater part, but I forgot how much I disliked that until I was really recapping it. Also, I like really should have refreshed my brain better on that. I like skimmed something and was like, yeah. Anyway, so here are my final rankings, in order from least favorite to least to favorite. So starting at the bottom, we've got House of Flame and Shadow, then Throne of Glass, then Crown of Midnight, then Tower of Dawn, then A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Silver Flames, Kingdom of Ash, A Court of Mist and Fury, Heir of Fire, and then in my top tier, we have House of Sky and Breath, Empire of Storms, Assassin's Blade, and then the very top three, Bronze Medalist, Queen of Shadow, Silver Medalist, A Court of Wings and Ruin, and Gold Medalist, A House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City Book 1. First place and last place owned by the Crescent City Saga. Wow. What range? I'm excited to delve into Crescent City. I hope like recapping it gives me a better like love for it, a better appreciation for it, because I really don't feel much for it now. I do think the first book is the best and the ending is spectacular. I really enjoy some of the characters. Like I really love Lydia. I know we're going back to this world. Like Sarah wants to write more in it, so I will go back and read it. I'm gonna read at this point anything Sarah J. Maas writes, so I'm excited for the recap next year. I think it'll be good. Maybe I'll find a new love and appreciation for it, because right now I feel quite middle of the road. All right, I will see you in the next video. Fun stuff coming soon. I have a couple videos planned in this like hiatus between recaps, and then we will be dumping into our Frost and Starlight recap. So that's what's on the agenda for the rest of October. I will see you in the next video. Oh my gosh. Also, if you haven't been watching, I've been doing a like vlog series, which I normally don't vlog on this channel, but we're trying it out, where I am trying to reach my reading goal by the end of the year. Will we make it? It's not looking good. I am currently, let's see if I can find this information for you. I'm currently 37 books behind on my reading goal. I have 60 books to read before at the end of the year, and it is October. But we are trying our best to like get as close as we can to our reading goal, and I've been sharing kind of my journey of those on my other videos. You probably have seen them pop up if you are subscribed. If you're not, you probably should. Okay, so I will see you so soon. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.